We don't own property in the United States. That is a fallacy. It's a clever trick, right? Because you can own it. You can take out a mortgage, right? Let's say.
Well, I know a way to own it.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And I am not getting into that right now.
It's definitely, that is a big Mead Talk.
No, that is a very,
Welcome to Mead Talk. Thank you, everybody, so much for showing up tonight. This is our first, hopefully, live event that's actually working, and hopefully everybody can hear us on the other side of the internet, as well as the audience that's here. We have a couple of Royalty Club members here that are going to get their 50 extra points for showing up for Mead Talk. All right. So, just so everybody knows, the rules for Mead Talk go something like this. You must consume 3 glasses of mead. Now, I know a couple weeks ago, Will Chilwinski, the Chub Father, was on here, and he kind of stated that, that's not relative for everybody. 3 glasses of mead is actually a good bit.
It's substantial.
Yeah, he had to make that point because I don't think everybody understands, so we've come out with a couple of lower ABV ones, right? But, normally you're at least 7 to 16% on, mead. So 3 glasses is not nothing, right? So, which makes this a lot more interesting. And, by the way, Bo, get comfortable with that, but also, get right up in the mic. Right up in it. Yeah, own it. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. And you can scoot your chair up, get close, so you're not leaning forward and everything, but get comfortable.
All right.
We're going to be here for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But,
hot seat. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're going to move the damn thing.
Yeah, move the mic, do whatever you need to do. But, I did get you up here before to get situated with it. But so you must drink 3 glasses of mead to enter the realm of Mead Talk. This is kind of a big experiment, right? Just to see what comes out of me drinking mouths. But tonight, we have a fantastic guest, a scholar in the law area.
The law of variety.
Yes. And his name is Bo. What is your last name, Bo?
It's Parkinson, like the disease.
That is fantastic. That goes great.
So if anybody has Parkinson's, they have bone inside.
Yeah. So, anyways, Bo is an incredibly smart, very intelligent individual that we've had many awesome conversations with about the Constitution, law in general, and all of the above. So tonight, we have gone over a little bit of the Constitution in our Constitution series. Okay?
Yeah, I believe you guys went over Article 1. You guys got about halfway through.
We made it.
Article 1, Section 8.
Yeah. So we didn't quite make it all the way through.
So in that hour and a half, I think you may have said 2 or 3 sentences about what's actually happening.
I have 3 sentences that were on task.
I think every word was dissected. That might be the problem. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that in of itself is the problem with law.
Yes.
It's the interpretation, and you have to dissect it.
Yep.
You have to pay attention to the words.
And I was very close to being a law student myself.
Yeah, you're that smart. You chose not to do it. Congratulations.
I did.
We're just on the other side of that smart.
Yeah. you got people, you got lawyers, and then you got people that were almost lawyers, just above the lawyers.
Right.
I'm in that group, yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously that's a very difficult, it's difficult to get into, just period.
It is difficult to get into. Just the academic standards are hard to achieve, but then you have to go through, the character background, right? When you apply to law school, you have to give them basically character references. They want not only from your mouth, but they want references too.
Yeah.
What
I'm
is
very
this
lucky.
guy like?
Right. It's what is this guy like? But what is this guy like since you've known him at birth?
Right.
Has he or she wandered off the beaten path? Did you catch them do it?
At 3 years old, has he or has he not stolen anything?
What did you plan on him being like before he was born?
Exactly.
What has he always said he wanted to be?
And I was very lucky that through my military service to meet a lot of really stand-up guys.
And for the record, we appreciate your service.
Thank you.
What branch were you in?
I was in the Coast Guard.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm a pirate, 6 foot extension.
Really good movie about that. But Ashton Kutcher.
No, God, no. I was actually in a bar.
Yeah, it always starts in a bar.
We're in one right now.
I was in a Navy bar in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
And my uncle was a master chief in the Navy.
Massive.
And he just happened to be in town. So he said, hey, Bo, you're living here at the time.
Yeah.
Why don't you come down? I was like, cool, man. I haven't seen you in like 10 years.
That's right.
Why not? And I walk in there, not knowing it was a Navy bar. And a coastie walks into a Navy bar is the start of many jokes. So we walk in there, and a couple of his Navy colleagues, if you will, said, "Oh, you're in the Coast Guard. But Ashton Kutcher's your role model." And I said, "You're right, and Tom Cruise is your god."
That's pretty good.
And that's why the Coast Guard's slightly smarter than the Navy.
It's like, we are in a very small boat in the ocean for a very long time. You can come up with things real fast.
Yeah.
I think that was really a topic, like, what are these fucking Navy dicks going to talk to us about now? Hey, they say something, this is what I'm coming back with. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Let's use that. No.
When I was when I joined December 7th, 2004.
Okay.
And initially signed up for 6 years to get a guaranteed A school.
Right.
So go straight from E1 to E4, right out the gate. And
that just means better pay.
a lot better pay.
Yeah. That's a pretty big jump.
Unfortunately, like the rest of my life, I pissed off a whole lot of people, and they said, no, you're going to stay in E3 for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can.
Right.
I was like, okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But we went to Bar Norfolk, and this was in February 2005. And the best line I ever heard from anybody, got him punched in the face immediately.
But
it started a gigantic bar brawl.
And it's that good, yeah.
It was instantaneous. And the Navy guy goes, he said, "Oh, you're a coastie." He said, "Yeah, I'm a coastie." He said, "What's that mean?" He said, "I don't know. How's your wife and my kids?"
Nice.
Immediate bar brawl.
I've been in a few bar
good.
brawls myself. Yeah, I remember my friend throwing somebody outside of Coyote Ugly down the stairs, and then we got in a fight with the Polizei and like 20 other people. That was my army days in Baumholder, Germany, where nobody cared
About anything.
And it was 4 a.m, because nothing closes there. It's
And
like,
nothing good happens after midnight.
no,
Anywhere.
no, especially after 4
always
in the
been
morning.
told nothing good happens after 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for like drive-through rush hours. That's pretty good for
Or Waffle House if you're here.
and Waffle House. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Crystal's pretty good at 2 a.m.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
They're not as prominent as they used to be. I
No,
don't know
man.
why.
They closed down the one up here. They put Milo's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, the crystals, yeah.
I'll be honest,
It's still
man,
open.
I can down some crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's weird.
It's not
I
good
don't know
for you.
what I'm eating, but it satisfies the palate.
Yeah.
But you'll never eat it at 1 in the afternoon.
No.
Yes, no.
Yeah,
When
no,
you're
it's a
talking, hey, what do
definitely-
you want to do for lunch? Nobody ever says, hey, let's go get crystals.
It's definitely I'm really drunk. Crystal
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how that
Yep,
that
I'm
goes.
really drunk. I want to see how many of those little square things I can get down my throat.
Yeah.
No homo.
Yeah. So let's move on to the topic. Luckily, I started recording the audio a little bit later than the intro, but
Not that much later.
yeah, not that
It's
much
all
later.
there. What can we do?
So
We are definitely not
so
politicians.
how long you been working towards your lawyership?
So so you obviously your undergrad is a prereq.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to have a bachelor's degree before you can even apply to law school.
Right.
So
Anybody need anything?
no, I'm good, thank you. I started law school fall of 2021.
Okay.
So I'm right at about 2.5 years in now. So the program that I go to, it's a 3.5 year program.
So where are you going?
Birmingham School of Law, downtown.
Fairly close.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I was looking at Wallace.
You know, back in the day, I have been told that was a very viable option
And
for a
it
lot of
was
people.
back in the day when I was looking at it, I'll be honest. We're talking 2002-ish.
I know they got Jones now,
Yeah.
and obviously you got Cumberland,
Yep.
which is for the rich folk,
Yes.
not me.
Now, as for recent, I have heard Birmingham School of Law is actually pretty good.
You know
they're,
what?
They're very viable.
It is a very viable program in the way that they go about their curriculum.
Is yours mostly online or?
No,
are
it's
you-
all in person.
all in person. Okay, so you're there.
I am not aware of
Thank
an
you.
online Juris Doctorate program.
Yeah, it's hard to do that online.
Well,
But I know some programs like initially offer it. Maybe your first year and a half, 2 years.
I don't know. I have one, because I actually go to a brick and mortar.
Right.
I never really looked into it.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of time to do that.
Yeah.
But even when I was researching law schools, because I looked at Cumberland and I looked at Alabama, because we live here in Alabaster, obviously I wasn't going to go down to Montgomery. That was just not an option. But looking at Cumberland, looking at Alabama, and looking at their bar pass rates, and looking at how they go about their curriculum,
Right.
when I stumbled across Birmingham School of Law, what I liked about them is all of their professors are practicing attorneys,
That's good.
unlike Cumberland and Alabama and
Okay.
Jones, right?
Yeah.
So all the professors may have at one point practiced,
Right.
but now they're more along the lines of theologians, which law is nothing but theory anyway.
Right.
But when you remove yourself from the practicality side of it, and like, what's going to happen in Shelby County? What's going to happen in
Yeah.
Bibb County? What's going to happen down in Mobile? What's going to happen up
Right.
in Jefferson County?
Yep.
Everybody's a little bit different. So having that firsthand practical knowledge of, I was in court today, and we just so happen to have a case talking about this very thing.
Yeah.
Here's what the U.S. Supreme Court says, or
Boom.
one of the very numerous circuit courts, right, Court of Appeals. They
Right.
say this, or they say that. Well, here's what this judge says, or this judge and this judge and this judge says. Here's what the Alabama Court of Appeals says. Here's what the Alabama Supreme Court says.
Right.
So it's very interesting to watch kind of everything unfold, because when you're reading out of a book, it's all great and grand, right? It's the theory of law. Because,
Interpretation.
well, not necessarily the interpretation, it's the application,
Yeah.
right? It is their interpretation on that case, but once their interpretation gets finalized and published, it's no longer interpretation, it's the practical application,
it's
right?
Law, yeah.
But here's the funny thing, and this is something that what kind of made me spin my head in undergrad. I took constitutional law in undergrad.
Okay.
No.
Which is
And-
good because we're getting there.
We are getting there.
Maybe.
But I remember the professor saying to me one time, he's like, I want you to write a paper on the interpretation of the court.
Yep.
And I couldn't, at that time, really grasp that, right?
Right.
It's like, how do I articulate to you somebody else's interpretation? Their interpretation is their interpretation. I can't change it. Yeah. Now that I've gone through a couple years of law school, I can tell you I can absolutely change it. I can take it, spin
Right.
it, twist it, invert
Yep.
it, and throw it out the window
Word.
to have it boomerang
Yep.
right back in completely different.
Which, is that okay?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, shouldn't it be well defined?
Do you know
I
why
mean,
there are so many jokes about lawyers?
Yeah, I know, but it's like, shouldn't it be like pretty well defined, right?
Well,
yeah.
so it is well defined.
But it's circumstantial.
And it is also circumstantial because one thing that you'll notice, the more law you read, the less the circumstances are the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Right? So it's less interpretation, more application.
Yeah.
Right? So their interpretation, once they finalize their order and publish it, it's like, hey, look, here's the application of the law. This is how we rationalized it. This is how we analyzed our facts to the law through logic and reasoning to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Right? It's very similar to math, as there is a formula that it
Right.
needs to be done, but you're never going to really replicate it.
And see, I know the U.S. Supreme Court here recently has stated, and we'll get to the Second Amendment, but going back to, is it something that has been brought up before that we need to discuss, or is this something that hasn't existed, and how detailed can you get? Because, there's a lot of fight going on between the U.S. Supreme Court and the ATF. Because the ATF thinks that they can make laws, but they have no authority to make laws. They can only define laws.
Well,
Yeah.
Now, we'll get there. I don't want you to go
Yeah.
too deep right now.
Hold on.
I don't want you to go too deep.
We do
well,
need
we
to discuss
almost
the
went
first.
straight into the deep end on that one.
Yes.
Right. We're going to get back to that, but that's a part of
But it's
defining
also
law, right?
well, if you want to define law,
Which, in theory, law should already be defined. It's the law. The Constitution
well,
Yeah.
is the law.
Well.
wait a minute.
But that
You've
comes
got
up to
you've
in-
got natural law
Mm-hmm.
and you have artificial law.
Right, which the
And
Constitution...
artificial law is nothing but legislative law.
But
Yeah.
the
Because you
Constitution
can't-
is based off of natural law.
It's based off the theory of natural law
For the
through
fact that
a
God-given
couple
right.
of philosophers. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys that like to drink and were really smart, and they decided, hey, we're going to start our own country. And
Yeah. I mean, you've got
I bet they drink
Thomas
mead.
Hobbes.
I bet they did.
You've got the Leviathan, right? So that's
Right.
where the
Yeah.
10th and 11th Amendment come in.
Yes.
Sovereignty.
I was looking at those. Dude, that's like the stuff we have on there. It's like, wow.
What? Once you start looking at the history of it, especially
yes.
the 11th Amendment,
Yeah.
once you understand what happened at the
I know,
11th,
we're jumping way ahead
We're
already.
supposed to be on the first through third, guys.
We're on the 11th already.
Jeez.
And we are 11 minutes into this. Okay. We need to backtrack a lot.
Just a little bit.
we're gonna dial it down.
Yeah.
So, okay.
This
So,
will be a multi-part series.
yes.
We're gonna get to 11 though. I promise.
Yes, it will definitely
it may be, 2027, but hey, we'll get there.
At the rate this is going, it may be later than that.
Okay, so the First Amendment.
First Amendment.
Let's talk about the First Amendment. What is the First Amendment, first of all, and how do we look at that in the U.S. currently? How is that?
If I can, I can dumb it down, it's free speech, free press, freedom of religion.
Is that like the ultimate core? And so I'm asking you because you're the expert, right?
Now, so you've got freedom of religion. So basically, what the First Amendment says is there will be no establishment of religion, but there will also be no hindrance thereof.
yeah, so that's important,
Right.
Right.
So we can't establish, even though we're based on Judeo-Christian beliefs, we can't
Right.
establish that as our national religion.
it's a separation of church and state.
It's a
sort
separation of
yeah.
church and state, right? That's where that comes from, is that Article 1, or I mean not Article 1, but Amendment 1.
So,
Which I
Clause 1.
think was
But
a mistake.
yeah, well, but I would say that most people would say, okay, well, morals that the Constitution and everything was based on is based on the Christian
Judeo-Christian beliefs.
yeah, and so that is still a they're still not separated, right?
No, and I mean it's very hard when you're looking at the Constitution. It's 7,600 words long.
Yeah.
Not that many. Hundreds of years, and even some of it goes back all the way to the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
You're over 800 years at
Yes.
this point,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
800 years of doing things a particular way, and every once in a while you'll see a deviation. Could be slight, it could be gigantic,
Yeah.
but it happens very seldomly.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got the exercise of religion, we've got freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. Those two things are paramount to us as Americans,
Yeah.
Right.
Just
and probably
make sure you're on that mic. Yeah.
probably
Yeah, like make out with the mic. There you go.
I feel very awkward. Like it's a little awkward here.
But with the eye contact,
I really
with the
want-
eye
contact
Look,
makes me feel
You have
slightly violated.
You have a lot of very important things to say. I just want to make sure everybody's catching it.
Okay.
You know?
So, with freedom of speech,
Yes.
it's one of the most, in my opinion, misunderstood clauses of our Constitution.
Yes.
Right? We don't have an unbridged freedom of speech.
We don't.
In fact, there have been more cases regulating speech than there have been upholding free speech.
Really. Well, okay, so
it's like 3-1.
well,
3-1. Where
Well,
it's like,
I understand some things, right? Like, hey, it's not okay to do this.
So you can't just walk up to a random person and be like, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you in the head."
no, that's called assault.
Yeah. Well, okay.
You don't actually do it. You just
So
tell them.
No,
But that is
But it's,
against freedom of speech.
it is.
right?
Well, it's an incitement of violence.
It is.
it's okay. So incitement of violence, or is it a threat? I think that's a threat, right?
Well, it depends on your interpretation of which way
it's
you want to look
definitely
at
a threat of bodily harm.
it. It's a threat of bodily harm,
which
which
would be assault.
satisfies the assault aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
that's yeah. Okay. So well,
The
I mean,
battery would be actually
it-
shooting them.
Well, okay.
right.
So
It's the physical touching.
Yes.
Well, it in itself is not assault, but it is a threat of assault or
Yeah.
a threat of violence.
No, it's assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Assault is the apprehension or the belief that something's about to
Yes,
happen to
it's
you.
basically making somebody
a battery is when
uncomfortable
you're
and making-
touched.
yes,
So somebody that's paranoid all the time, though,
is always assaulted.
is
Yes.
always assaulted.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
If they have a defining party that is
There has to
threatening
be
them.
more to it
It's-
than that.
Yeah, and like I said, I am by no means a law scholar, but I have researched this quite a bit. I've looked into it mainly because
I know this is all you do all day long at
I
work,
know. You
right?
can ask my wife. You can ask my wife. That's all I do is I watch videos, I research, I read, and I don't go to school for it. That's why we have Bo here, because what I believe may not be quite on par with what society or the law believes.
Entirely accurate, I believe, is the word.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
No, I mean you're not
The defense
wrong. I
rests.
mean, well, you're right. You're not too far off the mark.
Right.
But somebody who's paranoid, right?
Yeah.
There's a subjective belief and then there's an objective belief,
Right.
right? The subjective is what you
That's-
as an individual thinks, and objective is what we
Is
as a
what the real
society
world
thinks.
We
is
talk
like.
about this a lot in theology as well.
We do.
Well, and then it goes back to law is theory,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? That's why they call it common law. It's
Yep.
common law doctrine. It's a common law theory. This
Yeah.
theory is
That's why
under these
lawyers practice
circumstances,
law.
this is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's the best way that I can really articulate to the scientific method, right?
Right.
You hypothesize something, and then you take a test and you try to replicate it,
Yeah.
right? Works great for science, not so good for law, because you cannot replicate to a T
The exact same
Right.
circumstances.
the exact same circumstances that happened.
But that's why we have.
Subjective and objective views.
But we also
Well,
have
tests, rather.
We have where people have gone like we've got Terry versus O in 1983, so on and so forth, that we go back to and say this is the evidence that was produced. This is a discussion that was had.
Yeah.
And this is a conclusion that we came to.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why we go back to
Those sort of cases.
Right. You go back to those principles, right?
right.
It's the principle of law. It's the analysis that they came up with.
Yes.
Right? They took a rule of law and said,
They tested it. They said
whatever,
right.
whichever test that they decide
Yep.
for whatever is
I
going
mean,
on.
if the glove
Yep.
don't fit, right?
right. If the
Yeah.
glove don't fit, you must acquit.
We all know about OJ. We were all there.
At least all of us were there. I
Yeah,
don't know about anybody else.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about the 3 people watching right now, but yeah.
But yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
If not, Google it.
Yeah.
Google,
I mean,
YouTube. It's
yeah.
on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Everything is
And
on
it's
YouTube.
also on
It
Netflix
is.
now. I think they did a documentary
probably
on it.
did.
They did
Yeah.
every documentary
Yeah.
there is.
They do a documentary on dang everything now.
I got a documentary on David Beckham now that I let my kids watch because they play soccer and
Oh
I'm
wow!
like, no, we need to watch Pele, not David Beckham.
Yeah,
Well, so,
Pele was
anyways.
way better.
Way better.
Anyways,
I tried to explain that to my wife behind the bar, and she's like, "Who's Pele?" I'm like,
oh
for the
my
Lord.
gosh,
Why are we
really?
married?
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
she didn't know who. And even my 7-year-old was like, "Mom, like you need to know who these people are." They were awesome at soccer.
Anyways, so
Yeah, back to
First
law.
Amendment, right?
First Amendment. Yeah, you need to talk
Okay,
law
so
of
yeah,
soccer.
Right.
okay, so it
Football.
makes sense that there would be more cases against the First Amendment,
Well,
and freedom
okay.
of speech, right?
So let's look at the historical aspect of
Yeah.
the First Amendment. Going back to English times, a lot of it had to do with seditious talk,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? We're going to overturn the king, the
Right.
monarch, whatever your government is at that particular time, right?
Yeah,
So, when the Federalists, when they came out with the Articles of Confederation,
yeah,
numerous problems everywhere.
Yeah.
Going into Shays' Rebellion,
yeah,
right? So a lot of that had to do with Revolutionary War debts and the government's inability to raise armies and to
Yep.
pay its debts. But they were also putting a lot of people in debtor's prison. So you got Shays coming up saying, hey, this isn't right, and started talking mad smack about Adams, our old friend John Adams.
John Adams.
Yeah.
So then John Adams goes, well, we can't have any of this freedom of speech. The Alien and Seditious Acts of 1798 come out.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you cannot talk bad about your government.
Yeah.
When a lot of people said, wait a minute.
See, that's where we're at right now too.
Yep.
We're
Oh,
having
that
a
is
lot
right
of
where we're at.
issues
Yep.
with
So
that.
a lot of, the Shays Rebellion kicks off. Well, it ends up New York gets about 4,000 men through privatized funds to go squash the rebellion.
That won't happen today.
No. But, so you've got the Alien and Seditious Act of 1798 that came out. Eventually, that was overturned. Or not overturned, it was repealed.
Yeah.
Right.
So it never really made its way up to the court. But even the courts at that time under Article 3 weren't like they are today. They were traveling courts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? They would go from circuit to circuit,
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
controversy, so on and so forth. So, it wasn't what it looks like today, and you didn't have a lot of people that wanted to be judges
Yeah.
because there was no stability in it.
It's not
Right.
like every town, every city, every county, and so on and so forth had a
Right.
judge and had their own opinions and everything.
Right, where like today, every county has a courthouse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you got judges there.
Yep.
And we elect them
I've been there.
Yep.
partisanly, like idiots for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll be
yeah.
honest. I've had to remind a couple of judges that they are elected officials and they should not talk to me the way that they talk to me. And it's not their courtroom; it's the people's courtroom. But they don't like that. You know why? Because they have this thing they can do called hold you in contempt.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Jail's
That's-
fun, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
sucks.
it's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. It's
Weird.
cold.
Yeah.
It's cold.
60-something degrees.
And you got to take a crap
and-
in front of everybody.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't mind
Yeah, I
taking
don't
a
care. I
crap
was in
in
the
front of
military for a
everybody.
long time.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah, same with me. I'm like, whatever.
Zero
you know.
cares there.
I mean, I've taken craps on the in the middle of the street in,
But it's still
in
awkward.
Iraq, but
It's awkward.
it's
Yeah.
what's awkward is not knowing why you're there.
But what's funny is
That's
that actually
that's
goes
the
back
awkward
to
part.
freedom of speech. Ironically enough.
Well, holding courts to the rules of procedure or the rules of evidence, it's important, right? That's how we maintain our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And
by doing it in an orderly fashion.
you do it in an orderly and respectful fashion.
And that's understandable.
And sometimes you'll get a court that just doesn't care.
Yep.
They don't. Their docket's overfull.
Yep.
They
So that's
may not even know what you're talking about,
yeah.
Mostly. Yep.
and you're going to fall in line or you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Maybe
But-
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but if you were to get a lawyer that was able to produce the evidence and everything and actually enter it into the evidence, then they'd have a real big issue because they would have to pay attention, right?
Right. But
So-
the problem with that,
You have to have a good
Is-
paralegal, but
you got to find a lawyer that's willing to do it.
it's hard nowadays.
Well,
it used to be a lot easier.
Well, to a degree, yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you've got judicial politics that plays a gigantic role in
Yeah,
things.
Oh, I know,
that's
trust
the
me.
problem, man.
yeah.
That's it.
Well, from the attorney side, or from what I have witnessed through my interactions with attorneys,
Right.
yeah.
is they're only willing to go so far
Yeah.
because it kind of goes down to you don't shit where you sleep.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right? So if you got a judge here in Jefferson County
Yeah.
that's not doing what they're required to do,
Right.
you do not get an attorney from Jefferson County.
Right.
Yeah.
They will not help you. Or they may,
Yeah.
Nope.
but they're going to do it in a way that doesn't screw them because next
Yes.
week they got to come back before this guy.
So I had this issue, right? So
I'm not saying it's right,
Yeah, and
but
so
it's the politics of it.
I had a business in the e-liquid industry, and in 2016 CBD became pretty much completely legal, right?
Right.
And I had introduced CBD into the e-liquid that I was producing, right? Producing a product that now you can walk into any gas station and get. And those people that have it in the gas stations are making $70,000 plus a day, right?
Holy cow.
I mean, it is a booming, it is a great freaking industry. But why? Because it works and it's good and people like it, right? Well, so I started to produce a very clean, very good product. I was raided by the Shelby County Drug Task Force. Held me up at gunpoint, told me that if I didn't deal heroin for them, then I was going to jail for a long time. And I was like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'm not doing that, nor do I know anybody that does heroin, nor do I know anybody that does anything like that, right? So they told me basically that if I didn't answer their call when they called, and so they let me off that day because, I was like, look, here's my CBD, you can have it, but they broke a bunch of shit in my lab and everything, and I was like, look, here's the CBD. You can take it. You can test it. Do whatever you want. It's pure. It's CBD. It doesn't have THC in it. And even then, the law was that you could have up to 0.3% THC or something like that.
Right.
I can't remember right now, but it was a long time ago. But I had the certificate of analysis for it and everything. And
Yeah, I remember that day because I was at Bass Pro Shop with our dad.
yeah.
And he said, hey, we just got raided by the sheriffs. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And so, and my two sons were there and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. To this day, I still have a disdain for Shelby County
Yeah.
sheriffs.
So I called
I
them.
basically do this to them every time I see them.
Well, so
And
I
you know
called
Freedom of
them.
speech.
I called them and I said, at what point?
And it is.
It is.
Well, and so I told them, I said, at what point do I need to take up my Second Amendment and defend myself against this tyranny? Like, this is crazy, right? Well, he was like, whoa, don't do that. It's not that big of it. I'm like, no, it's a big fucking deal. Like,
How much did it cost you overall?
it cost me like $15,000 over
Yeah.
3 years, and I had to fight Alabama for 3 years. I finally won, But at the end of it, they made me sign something that said I couldn't sue them because they knew that was coming.
Right.
And so, but after 3 years, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I have a family. I can't spend any more money on this.
Right.
So I just got to end it and move on. And nothing's on my record, luckily. But, you know, they chained me to a freaking wall, threw me in prison and everything, or in the Shelby County jail and everything.
Oh, county lockup.
Yeah, county lock. And I was like, what the frick? You know, it's like, it was nuts. And they thought I was like this big old drug dealer and stuff. And I'm like, what? What in the world?
See, I think that's a part of the problem nowadays. It's guilty until proven innocent. It's not supposed to be. It's innocent until proven guilty.
Right. Well,
it's hard to make that.
That's the
happen,
way.
though,
I mean, that's as Americans, you know, that's what we're told, right?
Yeah.
You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Right.
But everybody knows.
I'll get it. I got it.
You,
I'll take
on a practicality side.
on a practicality side.
Yeah, on a practicality side, it's guilty till you're proven innocent.
Because I mean, well, honestly, let's be honest. Like, you know, people aren't going to stick around if they know that they're guilty, right? So it's like,
Right.
you know, you better hold them until they know, you know that they're innocent. I understand that.
Well, and it's not like it is on TV either.
No, yeah.
when
Like
you go
Suits.
into-
have you watched the show Suits?
I do. I actually like that
You
show.
do?
Yeah.
Is it actually pretty?
No, not
No,
at all.
Okay. Is it accurate? No, I didn't think so. There's a lot of politics.
There's
that
a
really
lot of
go into-
politics in
I'm
it.
like,
It's
this
like-
is way too involved to be like real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
But it's a good, you know. But I like
a
the
good
way
show.
I like the intellectual part of it. You know,
Right.
The way that they think and stuff, and how
now,
they.
now some of it intellectually is relatively accurate.
Yeah. I would imagine so.
To say that
Yeah.
you know, lawyers are brain dead imbeciles, that's just not true.
No, I would never.
They are not
think
the
that.
smartest people on that they want you to make you believe they are.
Yeah.
But they're certainly not brain dead. It's fascinating looking at shows like Suits
Yeah.
and having the practical knowledge of reading these books day in and day out
Yeah.
and going, okay, that's never going to work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you won't even get to the
You
trial
can't-
phase.
Yeah, you can't bribe people like they do on that show.
Not at all.
I mean,
Yeah, there's called a professional code of ethics.
yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you cross that line, you better be
There is a line
sure.
of no return.
Yes.
Right.
And you better be damn sure that other person is on the same page. Otherwise, you're freaking screwed.
Yep.
And you're going to jail yourself.
Well, maybe not going to jail, but
Oh.
you'll definitely lose your card.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
you won't be a lawyer anymore. That's for damn sure.
Well, you'll always be a lawyer.
Okay, yeah. So we talked about this. Let's explain this really quick before we go into the Second Amendment. We talked a little, well, and you know, we've barely gotten into the First Amendment because we talked about a lot of different stuff. But yeah, let's talk
It's
about
usually
this.
the way
'cause-
Mead Talks go.
Yeah. You've watched them apparently.
Couple of
You've
them.
been here for a couple of. So, you were explaining this to me, the difference between a lawyer and an attorney.
Right. So a lawyer is just someone who is educated in law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some people that'll say, "Oh, well, it's not
so
just
I
that you're
could be a lawyer. No, I'm just
well, and I'm kind of getting there.
An attorney
Okay.
might pass the bar, but a lawyer knows the law.
actually, we're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So a lawyer is someone who is trained in law, and an attorney is someone who passed the bar exam,
Yeah.
right? But
I went-
you can
so-
use lawyer and attorney interchangeably.
Right. Because essentially, in reality, they're
They're basically
same.
both the same thing,
Right.
Right. So one took a test that says,
Yeah.
"Hey, I remember 73% of what I learned over 3.5 years,"
Yeah.
and the other one says,
Can I put this out?
I'm
real
Bob down
quick?
at HR.
I'm going to put this out real quick. If anybody calls you and says that they are threatening to get the law a hold of you, ask them what their bar number is because it's a scam. Have you ever had that happen?
"Mm-mm."
Yes. I have people that I know. They've had people call them and say, "Hey, actually, I've had it happen to me," and I've said, "Hey, we're gonna have to put a warrant out for your arrest for this amount of debt, so on and so forth."
Do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And you're with who? And they'll say, and I say, "And what's your bar number?" Click.
Right.
Yeah, I just tell them that
Yeah.
I'm already in jail, and that's fine. I just happen to
I
have slipped
keistered
this cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I slipped it through my butthole, so you know, I'm
I shit
good.
pancakes, by the way.
Yeah. The mini sized,
Yeah,
but they're still pancakes.
I'm not quite at full size yet. It was a small phone, not a big one.
They're McGriddles.
Yeah. There's a flip phone, so.
Yeah, you don't want to know where I get the sausage from.
But yeah, so well, okay, so that's really good to know, right?
So
The attorney though is the one that passes the bar. The lawyer is the one that's educated in law from.
So that's where it kind of gets confusing, right?
Yeah.
So you can take the Abraham Lincoln approach, and you can go down to
I like hanging around.
the law library
Yeah.
or Google Scholar.
Yeah.
One and the same.
I've taken several courses on from different colleges online that are free,
Right.
which are really nice, but continue.
Well, so kind of that's where the argument comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because attorneys or even lawyers who paid people to school them in the Socratic method and
Right.
really scramble their brain for hours on end with no real answer in sight would lead you to believe that a lawyer must go to a law school.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, to
And
become
a
an
prestigious
attorney,
one at that. Like a
Well-
lot of it's like
what movie was it? It was Bill Murray that
Yeah.
went to like the most random law school, and he had an office on the side of the road.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, I want to be like Bill Murray.
Right?
Yeah. or in the
I believe he had a Cadillac too.
or was
Yeah.
it the movie Accepted, where the dean or whatever went to law
Accepted, yeah.
school,
The
and he
SHIT.
yeah
South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Have you seen that movie?
No,
Oh,
Look
dude.
it up.
no.
Oh man.
Accepted. All right.
Yeah.
I will.
It's an old movie, but
Accepted.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Is it an
So
older
good.
movie?
Yeah, like early 2000s.
Yeah. That's
Really
where
good.
Ask me about my winner.
Yeah, that's
That's where it came
that's
from.
where Ask Me About My Banana. That's
Yes,
the play
that's
off
where
of
it's
that.
right from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. But they basically start a bullshit school and then they actually become accredited.
Accredited.
Well,
Yeah.
so funny enough, Birmingham is not accredited
Really?
through the American Bar Association.
Oh.
They are the only law school in Alabama that is not ABA accredited, and they have zero intention of seeking credibility.
Why
But
is
you know
that?
what that tells me? They're doing things right.
Why is that?
You're right.
Why?
I
is that?
agree with you. Well, it keeps the bureaucracy of the ABA out,
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
right? And it
Because
allows
we
them to
recently
teach
had
how
a-
they want to teach, which is the practicality
Yes.
side of it,
Yeah.
instead of the theoretical side
See,
of
we
it.
recently
Yeah.
had a doctor on here of biology, and he kind of got into the bureaucracy and the politics of that bullshit. And
Yeah.
It's like, what does it matter? You have the degree. You have the knowledge.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
how to apply the knowledge. You have the wisdom.
Well, and it's like,
Why does it matter?
So when I was looking up Cumberland and Alabama, both of those are ABA accredited schools.
Yeah.
When you go to an ABA accredited law school, you can't have a job.
Wow.
The first year, you're not allowed to work.
How the fuck are you supposed to survive? You just gotta have the money.
You got to have money.
That's
They don't
bull.
care. That's it. That's why he said Cumberland was the.
Got to have money.
That's
Yep.
bull.
It's all about
Family
the money,
money.
honey. So, or you live off loans, student loans.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way you can do it because you're literally not allowed to work. I think it's more than 15 hours a week.
So, well, the problem.
And there's a reason for it is your first year of law school is by and large the hardest.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
hit you with constitutional law.
Well,
They
and
hit you
it's-
with civil procedure.
It's
They
probably,
hit you with
it-
torts.
It is probably like a weeding out kind of effect.
Oh, it
right?
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Civil
Yeah,
procedure is at 100%
Totally.
weeding out
That's how the army
because
is
it
too.
is so hard.
Yeah, that's how basic training is for any
Right.
military. You know, you weed out.
You want to see
people.
who's weak and who can
yeah.
make it.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I understand that 100%. But there's a huge issue with. Well, I find a huge issue with the whole government student loans thing and everything, and how that's played a role in the rising prices of college and all that stuff. But that is a whole other Mead Talk. Let's get to the
So
amendments that we originally intended to talk about.
Freedom
All right,
of speech,
so
right?
we
talked
were
about freedom of religion. Let's talk
We got-
about freedom of press. That's a
so we
big one
talked
these
about
days.
freedom of press
I did not. Y'all did. I did.
A little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean freedom of press for the most part,
But we are the press.
right.
Depressed?
We are the
T press.
The press. I was like, Jesus.
We
I was
are.
like,
we are.
I'm not depressed anymore.
If we go
Like
to
I used to be
If
at
we
one
go
point
to
in time.
Alabaster PD right here and walk in there with cameras, we're the press.
Yeah,
No.
it's a
That's
First
public property.
Amendment audit.
It's public property. We are the press. We cannot go anywhere that is not authorized. But if it's public access, we are the press.
Yeah, anywhere where, like you can actually walk
Technically, yes.
into. Yeah.
But that's law, right?
Yes.
Don't
Like I
bullshit
said,
me.
technically,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Um,
Would it win in the courts if
you got about a 50-50 shot on that
You
one.
can.
But-
I mean, you can film in courts.
you
It's-
You can film in courts and
can.
you will go to jail.
yes,
but you're
are
legally
you within your rights?
Yes.
Depends.
There's no depends.
Oh,
There's
there
no
is.
diapers on old people.
Yeah, they're absolutely. You've met our president.
Now, if you're saying, well, okay,
Gotcha.
he is a special case, and I say special as in special. But
So,
that's beside the point.
Under your freedom of speech, can you record in?
Freedom of press.
Is it press or is it speech? Because if you're not a member of the press, then
You don't
can't,
have to be. You are. We are all members of the press.
In public.
Under
In
an
public.
archaic understanding, yes.
But we are, right?
I mean, so
Can we all not write an article?
op-ed.
No, I'm here for. Look, I do this for. I'm contracted. This is what I do, and this is. I'm writing an article about the local PD. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I am not aware of anything that can
stop it.
stop you from doing it.
Right.
But to say you're a member of the press under the objective understanding
like
of
the AP
press,
or
you would have to draw that distinction. I guess
Why?
that's what I'm saying.
Why? It's the First Amendment.
Because
And see, this is
It's
why I
not-
wanted to pick his brain
because it's not absolute, right? So the reason that hang on, the
Go ahead,
reason
go
that
ahead.
things are separated is so that you can have separation and knowledge and understanding of something. If everything were to be just jumbled together, then you couldn't have any sort of separation, right?
Okay.
That's why there's different clauses within the First Amendment. It's saying you have the freedom of speech, comma, of the press, comma.
But my rebuttal to that is
there's a comma, first of all.
the whole point of
Right.
the amendments is it is for the people, by the people.
No. It is not for the people if it's a compact with the government.
So
But
it's
that's
it's by
contradictory.
representative
No,
measures,
it's not.
right?
So when you think about the Constitution, it's
But the
not.
Constitution is to suppress the federal and local government.
Sort of, but it's also you give power.
Not really
Which
a
consti-
sort of.
Well, here we go back to the interpretation aspect of it, right?
Okay,
So
and
the
this is
U.S.
interesting.
The U.S. Constitution,
Yes.
as originally understood, and it really wasn't any other way until the late 1800s, it applied only to the federal government.
Yeah,
That's why every state had a state
another
constitution.
constitution
Yes, but
made,
that Constitution
That constitution,
mirrored, for the most part, the federal Constitution.
It did mirror
had some
and
changes.
there are some states that took it even further and gave
Yes.
more rights to the citizens.
To this,
Yeah.
yes.
Which is
Well, now,
important.
I don't want to say gave more rights
Some
to the
states
citizen.
actually
It
took a lot of rights
acknowledged-
away from
It
the citizens.
acknowledged.
It acknowledges the right
Because
of
the
the
Constitution doesn't give rights; it
Right.
just
No,
protects.
it
them.
just
Protects them.
recognizes
citizen. It recognizes it and protects. Right?
God-given rights. That's what it's about.
So to say that
natural given rights.
the U.S. Constitution applies to everybody in a historical context is relatively inaccurate. Now, through incorporation, which we won't even touch tonight because we got to get
yeah.
into the 14th
Yeah.
Amendment
Trust
for
me.
incorporation.
We'll talk about that with the
But-
government and incorporate. Yeah.
Right. So even in incorporation, in 1968, I believe, or 1938,
I want to say it was the latter, the 38. It
might
was
have been.
right after.
It was the incorporation
Prohibition-
of
or not
the
Prohibition,
First
but-
Amendment.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
right before the Second World War.
And it might have actually been the slaughterhouse cases that incorporated the
Yeah.
First Amendment in 1896.
Right.
And I may be off a couple of years on that one.
Yeah.
But so once you start understanding that, but even then, once you get to 1896, what had happened by then?
A lot.
Reconstruction. The 14th Amendment.
Okay.
God, we're only
Let's
at
hold on.
one right now.
Hold on. Slow your horses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
look,
now we talked
and we
about.
all know the Second Amendment is going to take the
We
longest.
we talked about freedom of press. Now let's step into the
Freedom
the,
of religion. We've got freedom of speech.
What about peaceably assemble and petition your government for redress of grievances?
Antifa doesn't
That's-
do that.
Huh?
Antifa
peacefully,
Antifa doesn't do that?
Antifa doesn't do
peacefully with a permit, right?
that. No.
Well, now
Okay.
that is the question of the hour.
Yeah.
Does the government have the right to give you a permit?
If it,
And if they do, can you ignore it with impunity?
is it public property?
I believe so.
The answer is yes.
Yes. you
But
can.
If it is public,
But you'll have to fight the
property,
local
You got to fight it.
authorities
Right.
on
is it-
that.
I don't want. Is it public?
Yeah, it is, but
What does
the
public
local
mean?
so localities
Uh-uh.
have hold on. Localities have codes, not necessarily laws that they
have
follow.
Ordinances
Yeah, and
that are not law.
and you'll still have to probably be arrested and go to
Yes.
jail and then fight them and sue
you'll
them
have
and
to do a
whatever you
civil
have to do.
lawsuit. Right.
And then
yes.
maybe possibly be able to do what you have to do, and it's a really big nuance and it really sucks.
It's bullshit.
What's interesting to me is the way the courts have interpreted the right to assemble.
Yeah.
It goes far beyond the context of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What about the right to contract? Is that a right to assemble? Do I have the right to associate myself with you in a contract or with Rob in a contract and not associate myself with you in a contract? It's things that makes you go, right? Because it's not explicitly stated.
And I'll give you an answer.
It's not explicitly stated
Right.
that you have the right to contract.
Yeah.
Yet we know that if I don't want to buy a Ford, I don't go buy a Ford.
Right.
If I don't want to buy a Chevy or a Ferrari, I don't go get a contract for a Chevy or a Ferrari.
Thank you so much.
Tell CJ we said
Have a
hey.
good night. So
Yep, we buy Rams.
that's one of the interesting things is, right, the right to assemble. Now, you've got petition the government for redress of
We
grievances.
got a microphone if you want to intervene at any time.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, he's
Go
he's
get. Hey, you
like-
just go get it and get it ready.
He's simmering.
Let's go get it.
And he's rubbing the beard. It's simmering. I like it.
Oh,
yeah.
we're getting
You
there.
want number two.
Trust
We're
me.
getting there.
I'm watching the time, and when it hits a certain point, we're hitting it.
Well, I mean, we can go into it right now because address of grievances is the last clause of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I wanted to get through the First Amendment and kind of
Yeah.
hit the highlights of
The
it.
First Amendment's really
It's complex.
It's important,
It
though.
is,
It's
but
extremely
it's the,
important.
honestly, it's obviously the most important amendment of the Constitution because
Well, I mean,
Well, it's first for a reason.
Yes.
Because
that's what you try to tell people. There's a reason they're in order.
So
At least for the first
7.
At least
First
I was
7.
going to say 6, but I agree with 7. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Only because you're studying this, and I'm a little rusty.
Right. Yeah. There's some arguments that the first 8.
Yeah. 8. We can stop him if we want. He's a lieutenant.
Do you need
We'll get him
another?
over here.
Hey, come here. Let me ask you a question.
Need a refill?
No, good. I got water. Thank you.
Okay.
So let's go to the Second Amendment, Rob, because I know
Yes.
you're ready to rock and roll on that one.
It is so simple. The right to bear arms. Well, there's a little more wordage in it, but
Yeah, there's quite a bit. There's
it has to do with a
there's
militia, a well-formed militia.
Yeah, see that's a very sticking point for a lot of people.
I know.
And you know what? Somewhere in there is
Actually, I
hunting
think our
too.
president said, "Well, if you want to take on the U.S. government, you got to have F-14s and and it's like, no, we don't actually.
So-
I'm gonna guess.
Come on, let's get in
Give
it.
me a guess.
Do it.
The amount of firearms you own, I'm gonna guess, is at least 10. 6 rifles, 4 pistols.
Yeah, we'll go with 10.
Yep. The rest of them,
The
you
other
lost in a boating
73 got
accident.
lost in a boating accident.
Yep. Boating accident. Yep.
Yeah.
And the ones
And
I
there is-
have
There is not a Gatling
are
gun.
in my kids' names. But they lost them in a boating accident. I'm just saying.
and there's not a Gatling gun in the coat closet.
There is not.
No, it's an 18-inch cannon.
Yep.
So
Yeah. We're good there. Yeah. So that one I've
Vance
got
will know
hanging
if
in
you
the
try to come
basement
through
there.
my door. I promise.
So yeah, let's do the Second Amendment, man. That's honestly that's the hot topic now.
It is a hot topic, and it's a hot topic because there's a lot of ignorance around it, right?
There is.
So
absolutely.
you've got people going online, going on the news and saying
Nobody needs
ridicu-
30 rounds to kill a deer.
right
That's not even what it's about.
where this idea of hunting came from.
Yeah.
From a historical context,
Or even sporting for that matter. It has
I
nothing
have
to do with
no
the Second
idea.
Amendment. It's confusing as fuck.
Yes.
Probably because some old guy with white hair that molests children decided to say, nobody needs a 30-round clip. No, dude, it's a fucking magazine, first of all, and you like to sniff women's hair. Moving on. Yeah. So
I
the
thought it was
whole-
small children.
They like to rub his blonde hair legs.
I wish they'd look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere.
I've heard that before.
It's a great song.
Oliver Anthony, if you ever want to show up here and perform, hit us up, brother. We are down to clown.
You are welcome.
You are way welcome. We'll pay you what you want. Within reason. Anyway, so the Second Amendment.
They
Second Amendment.
got mead. It's
We
good.
do got mead. We are just some hometown folk making stuff to get people feeling good. This is what
So
we do.
with the Second Amendment, the notion or ideology behind it was very simple. Give the people the means that the government has to protect themselves from government idiocracy. Because we all know
It's basic.
of a bureaucrat or a group of bureaucrats, also known as dumbasses,
Yes.
that work in a building somewhere who made a decision that they didn't have the authority to make, but they're coming to take whatever they want from you.
I don't know who the hell you're talking about, but
Idiots.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Bureaucrats.
Sorry, guys. I had
mainly.
to go check on a brew back there.
So, the Founding Fathers knew, because of previous engagements, that man, by nature, is evil. And
Every
when-
person.
when the-
yeah.
Yes, when that
I
man,
don't necessarily agree with that. I believe that every man has the capability of being evil.
But that's nature.
Okay.
But that's not inherently evil.
No, I'm not saying that the nature of being evil is there. I'm not saying that every man conspires to be evil
Wait.
or actually falls into that. There have been some great politicians that have swayed from being evil. I'm going to give one off the top of my head. Oh, Trump. But by nature, we are a fallen creation. We are evil by nature. We had a woman take a fruit from a tree that shouldn't have, and now all of a sudden we're evil, and that's a whole different Mead Talk. But
Well, we're
understood
confrontational.
not necessarily. Yes, we are.
From a historical context, we're aggressively confrontational.
Because of power.
Well, okay.
Well, okay, so what kind of power? Political power or the power of independence?
No, the power of control.
So, okay, well,
There's a reason that we wanted to get away from people, because they had the power of control.
but that's the power of individual freedom. Like you want
That's the power
to
of
be-
independence.
Yeah, independence.
Yes.
Like, but at the same time, like, you know,
So you could make it almost analogous to this, right? Or look at a coin. On heads, you've got a government who wants power.
yes.
All governments want power.
All governments want power.
That's the, yeah.
On the tail side, you have power of independence. All people want the idiot bureaucrats, the 98%, and I'm generously giving 2%,
Yeah.
Yes.
just the grace of God there,
Just to leave us alone.
to quite honestly just leave you alone, right?
Yeah.
So when things go south, who's to blame? Who is right and who is wrong in that necessary evil?
Of like war or
War. Because that's what it
or
will come down to.
insurrection or
So that's
Because the governing body was elected.
let's talk about
Wait,
insurrections.
In this,
yeah. Let's do that.
we'll get there. Hold on. 'Cause we're gonna get there.
I like it.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to agree. But in this instance, they were 81 million votes. Bullshit. Anyways, with the governing body we have now versus the people, now we can jump into
So
insurrection.
well, okay. So here's the issue that I struggle with. Okay, and I struggle with this constantly. Is that at what point does it become necessary to take back your freedom?
Well, so
Right,
we've
because
had,
we can't be China, right?
no.
We can't be a communist country, right?
No.
Because obviously I'm not going to live well in a communist country. It was very difficult for me to get through the authority of the military government, right? Or the military, right? And so
You're not a conformist, are you, Matt?
I am not at all. I'm not at all, right?
Yeah,
so
neither am I.
I adhered. I made it through it, but at the same time, that was something that it was very difficult for me to do.
Something about being free.
Yeah, because
don't
I
conform
wanted
very
to be my
well.
own person.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for me to go through school.
Right.
Period. Right? Because I didn't want to conform to what they wanted to teach me. I'm going to learn my own shit.
Yeah.
But so
I'm right on board with you.
yeah,
Matt.
and we've talked about school systems
We
and
did.
what you're
Last week
doing.
we talked
yeah,
about it.
We even had somebody on here with schools.
yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
so-
About that. Yeah.
but you know, at what point is it okay to do something about it? And that's where I've struggled with. But here's the problem with today is, can you do something without being completely censored or taken offline
So
somehow?
that's a question that I've had a lot of conversations with friends about.
We have
right?
a mic if you would like to partake.
Yeah, get in here, get on that.
But
So let me ask you this question, and this is my favorite question to ask when people say we live in a free country. All right, you ready?
yeah.
What are you free to do without government interference besides be a consumer?
Nothing.
So how can you be free?
Exactly.
You're not.
That's my problem with the entire thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, at what point does an insurrection began?
Yeah.
I can't answer that. I don't know what that tipping point is, but I can tell you it's got to be pretty far away if you're already not free.
If you have to pay taxes on your property, you don't own.
No,
your property.
not at all. We don't own property in the United States.
We do not.
That is a fallacy.
It is.
It's a clever trick,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
Because you can
well-
own it. You can take out a mortgage, right? Let's say,
Well,
Rob,
I know a way to own it, but keep going.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And that is, I am not getting into that right
Yeah.
That's another Mead Talk.
It's definitely, that is a big Mead Talk.
now.
Because
No, that is a very, very sober talk.
Yes, because that is difficult to get into.
That is, it's
Well, it's-
difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
It-
people
it's
don't
not-
understand.
I mean,
That-
you're talking different types of deeds.
Yep. Yep.
You got to get certain types of mortgages.
Yep.
Then you've got to find an institution that is willing to give you said type of mortgage.
Well, one of the biggest issues that I find with mortgages and contracts on land is that you must have a giver and receiver, right, for a contract. Like that's the ultimate like law of the land, right?
You
have
you
to
need
have-
an offer, you need acceptance, and
Yeah.
then you need consideration.
Well, the problem is like who offered it in the first place,
right.
and that comes into a totally different aspect. Like,
Well, so here's the to answer that question.
yeah,
Who offered it in the first place was the sovereign.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Because the sovereign owned everything.
yeah,
Now, when we went from colonies to the United States,
yeah,
who was the sovereign if the people were deemed as the sovereign? How I agree with you.
Yeah.
I can't answer your question, who did we buy it from?
yeah.
Because at that point, it's the chicken or the egg, which
Yeah.
came first.
Right.
But back to the Second Amendment.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yep.
Sorry.
Because getting into deeds is, we don't have enough time for that.
I haven't even made it to the third yet. We're on the second. Let's talk
Well,
about,
good thing
let's
the
get
third's
into
going
that.
to take about 3.5 seconds.
Right.
The second one is a difficult one, right? Because you got cases like Heller versus D.C., right?
Yeah.
And then you've got McDonald v. Chicago.
Yeah.
And then you've got the case, oh my gosh, I can't, off the top of my head, the New York law, where they basically said you can't have a gun, you can't leave your house with it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They challenged it, went all the way up to the Supreme Court, but before it even got there, they repealed it. And they said,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey guys, it's gone. We don't need that. You don't need to rule on this."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute. What are you going to do if we decide not to hear it? Well, everybody knew what New York was going to do. The second the Supreme Court decided not to hear the case, they were just going to reenact it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody knew that's what they were going to do. You can kind of say it's inferred, because the reason they dropped it is because they knew they couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
They ended up dropping it, and in that case, the Supreme Court said, well, we don't have a law because they repealed it, but you still can't do this.
So,
Right.
okay, so in my understanding of the Second Amendment, you're allowed to have any arms that might be bared by the military.
If you were to take it a textual context, you could easily interpret it that way.
We're allowed to have nukes.
No.
The military has it.
Okay.
Not really.
Like I said, if you were to take it from a
Robert,
textual...
You like your McNukes?
What's that?
You like your McNukes, Robert?
But we're allowed to have it. For the Second Amendment, I can have a nuke.
Make sure you're really speaking in the mic.
All right. So the Second Amendment means you can have a nuke.
Yeah.
Textually, yes.
Yes.
Textually?
Yeah.
Textually, yes.
Textually.
All right. How about morally?
Morally?
Yes.
The law doesn't speak to morals.
Morally, nuclear Armageddon is the end of everything.
Hang
So I
on,
don't
Rob.
Yeah.
think- I
Rob.
don't think you
Hold
or
on.
anyone actually should be able to own a
Hang
nuke.
on.
Make sure you're really in the mic. Make sure you're really in the mic.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like
There
right
you go.
here.
Yeah.
Make
Right
out with the fucking
Yeah, I was
mic.
about to say,
Yes.
I'm kissing this thing.
Yeah,
now.
that's how you got to do it.
You got to do.
Just kiss it. Yep.
So, you you asked morally if you can do it.
Yeah, like I mean, like if you were able to do it, right? Let's say we live in that world, where you are able to, go out to the nuke store, and get yourself a Fat Man. Right?
Fallout 4.
Morally.
fucking rocks. Yeah.
Is that good?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I think it does matter.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, you can't have a society if the society.
Are you
is
thinking
nothing
about the
but
morals of the
actions.
person that has it that wants to use it against you, or are you thinking about your morals?
I'm thinking about everyone's morals because I'm thinking about the greater good of society here.
Well,
but
does the greater
you
good of
might have
society
better
and what
good-
he has that he wants to use against you trump what you think?
No, because I don't think anyone should die in nuclear fire.
They shouldn't.
They should, but they have.
Yeah.
But
Right, they have, but it doesn't mean that they have to.
But if
still.
somebody has something like that to use against you, are you going to get the higher ground and not have that to fight them?
No,
So
they should. Like, all right, let's say, if
Whether or not
someone
they should or
has
should
it,
not have it, but
all
if they do.
if someone has it, right?
Yeah.
Then I guess I die.
Then do you? So you take the moral low ground and have the same thing, right?
No, I die.
It's not a moral low ground.
That's my
Okay.
option. I die.
You
That's
die.
What happens.
why?
Okay. Me
But-
personally, I'm going to fight for my life
Oh no, I'll fight for my life, but I ain't
in
gonna win
every
against a
aspect
nuke.
that I can. So if
So-
somebody over here says, "Hey, I got a nuclear bomb, I'm going to drop on you," I'm going to be like, "All right, cool. I'm going to drop one on you at the same time. That's what I got. That's what I'm going to
So-
do."
And we're gonna turn
Can
the
I-
whole continent into like
can
a
I-
dust
Is that my
bowl.
problem?
Yeah.
Can I
It
ask a
is,
question?
Yeah, because
No, it's
you
not.
ain't alive anymore.
It's not.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, Bo. You're here. You're the guest.
So that's what nuclear deterrence is all about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's the whole reason the Cold War didn't turn into a hot war.
Right, mutually
Yes.
assured destruction.
Mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
Now, that being said, do you want the Joker from Aurora, Colorado having a nuke?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like imagine school shooter gets a nuke. Imagine Dylan from the
Yeah.
It was the Joker, right?
what was
That's what he dressed
the,
up as?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Who was that kid Dylan from like the one really famous school shooting?
Columbine?
A lot of-
Columbine.
Yeah, yeah,
Columbine.
yeah.
Ma-
Okay.
Imagine
That's
one
the
of
OG.
trench coat boys
Now that's
got a nuke.
Hey, we'll open up this can of worms. But let me ask you
Right.
this: if they had walked into Columbine, and the teachers, or they even had an SRO, if they were actually carrying, would it had gotten to where it had gotten to? No, it would not.
Ask, I forget what school it is where the cops just like lingered in the hallway.
I'm
while
not
the
going to
shooter
talk
Yeah.
about that
did
because
all
Yeah.
that was bullshit.
I'm just saying, ask that school.
Well,
can
okay,
ask-
we can ask that
actually, we can
school
ask
because
them,
they
you know what?
didn't have them.
Yes, you know
Right.
why?
That's the
No,
They
problem.
were
No,
told
they
to
had
stand down. Parents were showing up with firearms, trying to get into school to stop the school shooting, and the cops said, "No, you can't do this." If it were me and my kids were in that school,
Well,
the cops would
so-
have taken out, and then
I
I
would-
would have gone.
That's
into
what I'm
school.
saying.
So
How can
I
you-
would
how
hold
can you
it-
trust? How can you trust the official that has the gun?
I
if
would-
they're
The
not gonna do it?
officials don't matter.
I would
to me.
hold it. I would hold
They
it.
don't have authority over
So
me.
okay, so I would hold it mandatory that every teacher trained.
Bo's like
And had a
clicking over
firearm,
here. He's like, this
right?
hamster is spinning
Okay.
like a motherfucker right now.
So I
And
would
the
think that would
popcorn's
be
good.
extremely important for a teacher,
Yeah,
Sure.
right?
I'm just
Because
keeping my
they
mouth
could
shut.
actually
Right.
do what was
but you're
necessary.
the guest.
Right.
You have to speak.
There were
You
there were
guys are-
instances
you guys are doing
in
your
that
thing.
particular shooting that you're talking
But is it
about.
a good
and I
thing
won't
or a
name
bad
which
thing?
one
That's
it
what we
is
need to
because
know.
it's very
entertaining.
controversial.
Right. I forgot the name of it. Otherwise, I'd say it.
So
But-
let me ask this. Do you mind if I
No,
ask?
go
Go
ahead.
for it.
Yeah.
Go for it, brother.
Going on a moral standpoint, right? Talking about the Second Amendment.
Sure.
Textually, the answer to your question, can we have nukes? Textually, the answer is yes.
Okay. That's
Ethically,
crazy.
ethically, should we have nukes? No.
No.
Right.
Morals, the law doesn't see morality.
Sure. Okay.
It sees ethicism.
So what's the difference between ethics and morals in this? Then?
Well, Judeo-Christian beliefs. Let me see how to put this. So the Constitution was built off of
Okay.
Judeo-Christian
Well,
beliefs.
well, hold on.
the Constitution was built off deistic beliefs. Let's get
Hold on,
that
hold on.
straight
Judeo-Christian.
first. No, no, deistic. The
Judeo-Christian.
God that they're talking about is not the Christian God. They're just talking about the vague concept of a creator.
That's Judeo-Christian.
No, that's called
monotheism.
that is called deism, my friend. that is a product of the Enlightenment. Look what the Constitution.
Well,
is.
hold on. Before we get into that, because that's another Mead Talk that
That's
we're going to have.
Actually, we're going to have you on Mead Talk here soon, aren't we?
But hold on. So
Give me for 2.
So morals is
No, it'll probably be at least
the difference between
I hope so.
Hey, look, the difference between morals and ethics is like
one deals in a successful right and wrong, and the other one is right all the time.
Morals and ethics. Morals is human belief or society belief.
Let me give you an example of the difference between morals and ethics, just to help you understand it or visualize it a little bit better. Okay, let's say in a year and a half, I study enough to be able to pass the bar exam.
I hope
right?
so. I'm praying
And
for you, brother.
I am a full-fledged attorney.
He is an attorney.
Have you passed the bar?
He has not yet.
You haven't yet?
No,
He's still in school.
I'm still in school.
Don't look down on him because of that.
No. Of course.
Don't
You have-
worry.
you have teen care.
I do it too.
We're not
No.
judgmental.
So, let's say, for argument's sake, in this hypothetical situation, I am an attorney,
Yep.
and Matt retains me on a murder case.
For $3,000.
Matt.
Actually, it's a lot more than that for murder.
5,000 is the minimum.
Yep.
Right?
5,000
Somebody
on
gets
murder.
Where to go.
somebody
Yep.
gets murdered, and Matt
No, 'cause
is
I've
the
already been
accused.
there.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
I just recently had to. Look, working for the CIA is shit.
If I ever go missing, y'all know who to
I've I've been questioned by the CIA before for a murder.
CIA?
Yes.
well, hang on. Let me answer this guy's question
International
here.
murder.
Yeah,
Okay,
answer.
yes.
So, Matt retains. Well, hang on. Matt retains me on for a contractual situation,
Yeah.
right? Rob gets arrested for killing somebody.
That's me.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Philosophy next week, by the way, is killing versus murder, but we'll talk about that next week.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Rob is apprehended for the murder of somebody.
Yeah. I didn't do it.
Matt tells me, as his attorney, Rob's going to jail because I killed that guy.
Yeah.
Morally, should I say something?
Morally,
Yes.
Because Rob is going to go to prison for the rest of his life for the murder of somebody else that he did not
I
commit.
didn't do. But ethically,
I can't say a thing.
nope.
yeah.
That's the difference between morals and ethics.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying there.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's what I said.
But let's bring it into contrast of a governing body wants to tell you how to use and live your life versus you as an individual saying, I got different ideas about that.
It may just be
Depends
the
on
Mead
what
Talk.
it is and what those ideas are.
What does it matter though? If a governing
does
body
matter.
if a governing body wants to tell you how to live your life, why would you agree to that?
If a governing body tells me not to murder or kidnap somebody, I think that's probably a good thing.
That's
for them
not a
to tell
well.
me.
I mean, the governing body has laws against that, but they're not telling you not to. They're not telling you.
What is
No.
What is a law except a command to not do a thing?
A law is a moral
Well,
It's a deterrent.
statute.
a law can also be to do something.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's
it's
the
not
difference between
one
positive
way.
and negative freedom.
Let's
I
go
talked
back to the
Matt about
Second
that
Amendment.
a little
The
earlier.
Second
Like
Amendment
to get a
says-
license to drive.
The
right?
Second Amendment says we have the not only the authority but the duty to take down a tyrannical government. The duty. It is our job
100%. Yeah.
as citizens to take down a tyrannical government.
So
I
at one
didn't, I
point,
didn't, I didn't
baby.
actually see that in the Constitution.
it doesn't necessarily.
He's kind of blind. No,
If I take these glasses off, it is just
yeah, it was late that night. He didn't
Yeah.
quite see all articles.
You know
He-
what? Hannah has been telling me to go to the optometrist.
Ah,
That's what it is.
Your wife is way smarter than you. I
Way
think so.
I think we've already discussed this. Okay.
But no, it is the people's
She is the beauty
duty.
and the brains in this operation.
Yes, that's why we
Right.
want to get her on here.
Yeah, we got to schedule her
yeah,
for sure.
We'll have more views. No, I'm just.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Like don't Don't even think you won't have more views with her. You're like, that's just dumb. They're going to be like, oh, my God, who
she's
is
a
that? And I'm
scientist.
like,
That'll be really great. We'll have a
Love
multi-part
scientists.
with her and a multi-part with you.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
It'll just be back
that'd be
to
cool.
back.
That'd be cool.
Hey.
We'll high-five the kids like we're going to class anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Here you go.
Yeah,
Your turn,
man.
honey.
Hey, by the time we're done with this
So-
one, though, he'll be a full-fledged attorney.
Okay,
past the
so-
bar and-
Hopefully.
Okay, so what is the ultimate goal of the Second Amendment before we move on to the third?
So the ultimate goal of the Second Amendment is, if you look at the interpretation of the courts
Yep.
in Heller v. D.C.
Yep.
and McDonald v. Chicago, the court in both of those instances have upheld that the right to self-protection is what is at the heart of the Second Amendment.
Okay.
Now, whether it be tyrannical or just personal protection, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so that's where...
So the fact of the militia is the tyrannical portion of it,
Can we
right?
talk about the well-regulated militia part?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
I mean, so...
It's a
pretty
whole bunch of
simple.
people getting their bang sticks together, having a good time, and going, you fucked around, and now it's time to find out.
Yeah.
FAFO.
FAFO.
So I have a, there's a particular code word that I can send to a particular amount of people
Yeah.
that will,
Yep.
and, get some things going, right?
Yeah,
with me
I
your
believe
dog whistles, Matt.
there was a guy in D.C. that did that a couple of years ago. He wore the Minnesota Vikings mascot helmet,
Yeah.
and they called it an insurrection.
Oh, yeah, he was an FBI agent. I remember what you're talking about.
But
Wait, are y'all talking about the QAnon shaman? That guy?
yeah,
Yeah.
that guy,
That-
the
that-
shaman.
He was not
he was a goofy
QAnon
little
guy.
nut, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that's
well,
what you
anybody
get.
that says that that's an insurrection is a nut. Because
It wasn't.
if you look
it
at
wasn't an insurrection. It was an attempt, though.
But
No,
let's-
man, oh, hang
I don't
on.
even
was an
think it
attempt.
was
Hold
that.
on. Let me ask you this.
An attempt
What
by
happened
bunch
a couple of
dumbasses.
weeks ago, though?
Let me ask you
Or a
this.
few days ago.
Why
Who goes
was
to
it-
an insurrection unarmed?
Why
A bunch of
was it
dumbasses?
An insurrection.
I mean,
It's not an insurrection.
No, I mean,
No. It's not,
had
it's
zip
not an
ties and
attempt
were-
to
It's
take
not
over the
an
government.
Was it an insurrection?
what
Because
was?
nobody was
If
alive.
a majority of the people don't agree with the government and they go to take over the Capitol, which they didn't,
It's not the
they were
majority.
actually-
That's the thing.
They were
It would be
actually-
it would be a tyranny
were
of
on
a
a fucking
minority if
tour.
they won.
They were on a
Well,
tour.
okay, so what happened last
So
week?
it's like
But
30%
why would it
be
of
an
the
insurrection?
population.
Last
30%
week.
of the population.
Okay,
agree with
but
that.
let's talk about
That's a
what.
minority.
Okay, let's talk about what happened last week. The same exact thing happened last week. Did
Your
anybody
pink
hear
hair
about
is-
it?
Your pink
What
hair
happened
is
last week?
definitely,
A
like-
bunch of Palestinian
Appreciate
sympathizers
it.
walked into
the
the,
other
the
side, can you flip
same
it?
chambers and
Nathan.
interrupted all sorts of Congress.
Flip the other. No, other way.
He's trying to help you out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not
You're
on camera.
hey,
It doesn't really
you're
matter.
Not, but fellas.
But
hey,
anyways,
we got a guy right here.
Same thing happened just 1 week ago, right? They went in and they took over
good,
the
good,
Cannon area of the White House. They interrupted Congress from doing
Yeah.
their votes for all the Speaker of the House stuff. It was
Which
it was the
I
same
just want to
thing.
say is
So wait,
amazing.
hold on. So
I think it's
Same thing.
amazing that they have turned that in. Like they have
Yes.
revealed the circus for what it really is, and says this is a shit show.
Yeah.
I think when when they come in to do a vote, they should just play "Welcome to the Shit Show."
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
If look, I'll be honest. I'm going to be 100%. If the government right now is looking at me, and
I'm watching you.
Hi, I'm Bo.
I'm the government.
I
You want to be the government? I know you do.
My name is Uncle Sam.
I just want to say, I just want to say this. The people we have in office right now are absolutely fucking retarded. Yep, I said it. It's not fucking. I'm not a
Amen to
politician. I
that,
don't
brother.
care.
No,
I don't
they're,
have
no,
to
they're,
be-
they're slow.
I don't have to be PC. You know why? Because I'm not a fucking politician. They're retarded, and I agree with Richie.
Say what the hard are.
Richie,
Yeah.
Robert.
good old Richie, my father-in-law, by the way.
Richie said, "If I could shoot that motherfucker, I'd shoot him right now." Yeah, Richie, go on, brother. Hey, look, I got your back, brother. Jennifer, that's your dad, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, but if that was
Yeah,
Talking about your
Don't take
dad.
that outside.
that's
You
kind
see the
of
sign?
that's
Oh,
the
she did it.
tyrannical government. I mean,
She didn't cross the plane. She's good.
She did now.
Oh my God, she's running.
No, you got a runner.
is right there.
I can't even believe.
Literally across the street.
That's your wife.
I know. I figured she'd know I had her back, but she just took off.
Yeah, you got her back.
She didn't even shut the door.
No, she didn't.
She
The
did.
door's open.
She never shuts the door. I'm telling you. Jeez. Anyways,
So I guess to circle back,
the Second Amendment.
to
Let's
circle
go
back
to it.
on your question, the
Cece's
single
over there
most
shaking her head.
goal
Shaking
is
it right
for
along with her.
personal protection.
Yeah, person.
That's what
okay.
the Second Amendment says.
Yeah,
for.
I would agree. That's like the main
Whether-
part of it. Right?
Honestly, I would say.
Whether it be tyrannical or against a tyrannical government, or
Okay, yeah.
or for personal protection.
Yes.
Now, the militia part, that's where, in my opinion, we go from a differentiation. Right? You differentiate, and
we go
I
from
don't
white
think.
supremacists to.
Well, but I don't think that it needs to be
Categorized.
state-regulated
Yeah.
militia.
There doesn't no, and it doesn't.
And
say-
historically,
do you know what a well-regulated militia means?
people with a bunch of guns,
Yeah.
But are also
bang
trained.
sticks, happy
So
sauce.
I have a well-regulated militia at my fingertips, right?
Yes,
You know,
we know people,
We know people.
We know people.
and if
Right?
the FBI shows up, it's gonna suck for them.
Do you
But
have connection
so-
to the 3%ers?
Oh,
yes.
what is
I
the
am a
three
part of.
percenters?
I am a part
I
of.
wanna
Wait a
know.
minute.
Let's go.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait
I
a minute.
can't hear a
Wait
single
a
word
minute.
any of y'all are saying.
Wait a
I'm gonna speak
minute.
one at a time.
I'm a part of the 1%. Okay?
Wait a minute. Wait a
Really?
minute.
Yes.
You're
Let's
a
talk
billionaire?
about the 3%.
So are you.
We can do
I'm a
that.
billionaire? I didn't know this.
You are a part of the 1%.
That's crazy.
You just
Overall-
haven't brought in your statistics enough.
Even in the world,
I love how you're back. Like you never even left.
he didn't.
That's great.
Oh. Yeah. She's been here the whole time. She knew that I had her back.
Yeah.
She just ran for no reason.
She went out there and went in there. That's
I didn't see
kinda
nothing.
weird.
Oh,
No,
no.
you've been here the whole time. I saw it.
Yeah.
I synced it. But back to the 3%ers. You know why they're called 3%ers?
I do.
Actually, unclear.
Do you know the percentage of the colonialists that fought the British? What the percentage was?
Let me guess, it was 3%.
3%.
No, that makes sense. You know, for a fascist group to harken back to that, like imagined, you know, like nostalgia of like this mythology that we have around the American Revolution.
Nathan,
That makes sense.
hold on. Back up.
Yeah.
What was that one word you used? Say that one more time.
Was it fascist?
Okay. Explain fascism, please.
Ooh, now that's a whole Mead Talk in and of itself. To
Oh
tell
no,
you the truth.
we got 30 seconds. Go for it.
30
I'm gonna-
seconds?
Yep.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
even begin.
Prove you wrong. Go for it.
You can get it
Can't
done.
even begin. I'm not
30
even going to
seconds.
try because it's impossible to find something like that in 30 seconds.
No,
It's just a bunch
nothing's
of words strung
impossible,
together in a
it's
sentence.
improbable, and go for it.
All right.
You can do it.
Yep.
Fascism,
Yep.
in layman's terms, is
you don't
a
have to do layman's. You can do
I'm doing it in the way
Socrates
I want to
if
do
you
it.
want. Yeah.
It is a collection, a hodgepodge of a whole bunch of different ideas, primarily concerned with, you know, the imagined injustice of a group of people over another group of people,
Like
usually
BLM?
involving a mythologized past where you were once this great and glorious empire and you've been brought low by these invaders or these degenerates or what have you,
Wait a minute.
honestly. It
I
is
thought that was
Are we? Wait a minute.
It
Are
is
we?
incoherent.
Hold on. Wait.
That is ultimately the
him
whole
talk.
like proxy of
Yes.
fascism is that it is incoherent.
Wait. I just came in on this. Are we talking about Marxism right now?
No. talking about fascism.
Okay,
So,
'cause
yes,
that's what
the
it
same
sounded
thing.
like, so I wasn't sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought he was talking about the
fascism,
ACLU.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, no, it's what Hitler did, isn't it? You know, he drummed up a bunch of, you know, ire and hatred against Jewish people in his country over this like
Nathan, can I
idea
ask- I'm
that
gonna
the
ask you
Jewish
one
people
question,
like
Nathan.
were the contributors to him losing World War One.
Can I ask you one question?
What's up?
Since 1776, where has the United States done that?
The Confederacy.
What? No.
I hold the Confederacy was a proto-fascist
the
state.
Confederacy
100%.
was for? No,
Yeah.
because you have very liberal viewpoints. So I need you to tell me specifically where the U.S. has done that. And don't give me some bullshit. Where have we committed genocide?
Oh, committed genocide.
That's
You want to
what-
talk? You want to talk about like
You
the
compared-
actions of like a post?
I mean, you apparently compared fascism and the Confederacy with Hitler, so I need some examples.
Right. Okay.
Of
you want to
genocide.
talk? Yeah. So you want to talk about genocides? We indirectly have funded literally shit tons in
No,
like, Latin
on
America.
American
no,
soil.
No.
All right, on American soil.
Yes.
Yes.
Want
Yeah,
to talk
other
about
than the Democratic Party,
the
what they've
Japanese
done.
Internment camps. All
No,
right,
we're
that
not
was a
talking.
genocide.
Am I Japanese? Is he Japanese? Is he Japanese? No.
The Japanese
American
internment
soil?
We did-
camps.
and we didn't
are you
kill a
implying
bunch
that
of
Japanese
Japanese.
Americans don't exist?
We just
Hang
didn't.
on. Hang on a
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
The
Japanese
Japanese
Americans
let's
exist.
let's talk about the Japanese internment camps.
Yeah.
Of World War II.
Yes.
So
That's
under
only
the
1942.
Earl
We're
Warren
good. Let's go back there. Let's do
Hold
that.
on. Hold on.
under the Earl Warren Court,
That's an important question.
that
It
was
is.
that was something that happened.
I'm sorry, Bo.
Right.
And it was when he left the Supreme Court, he admitted that it was the worst decision that he ever opined
Yeah.
because it was morally and ethically not in line with the principles of our nation.
Because he had a conscience and he realized it was wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
Nonetheless, we did it though.
Oh,
The
we
American
absolutely
government.
did
it. Oh, yeah.
But what and that was
But it
Word.
wasn't killing.
that was after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, it wasn't like genocide.
All right, so
They didn't
all right,
kill
no, let's
them.
let's
It
actually
was in
narrow in on like what genocide means because I feel like
It
we're,
means to kill a whole bunch of people
No,
unarmed.
The academic definition of genocide can involve
It's
you know,
the same thing of what genocide actually is. There's no
cultural erasure is also genocide. You don't have to kill people to commit a genocide. You know that.
Yes,
So,
you do. That's
wait,
kind
wait.
of the
Yeah,
the
that's-
pretext
No,
That
of
is the-
genocide.
no,
Pretext,
literally,
yeah.
no.
You
All
can-
of academia disagrees with you. I'm sorry.
Can I bring this point up? He
All
said,
you say all of academia, but
hold on. He says
it's not
cultural
all of
erasure.
academia.
It is all
They
of
are
academia.
trying to erase white culture. That's genocide, right?
Yeah.
Robert, do you believe in the white replacement conspiracy theory?
What?
The
I'm
white
fucking
replacement.
Irish. I don't know what this white shit
conspiracy
is,
theory.
but I'm fucking Irish. So, do you know
Amen
how
to
many
that, brother.
slaves?
Honestly,
Do you know how many slaves were Irish compared
Yeah,
to
no,
the
my-
African Americans?
yeah, no, my girlfriend's
Actually,
Irish.
the Irish had more slaves than the African Americans in the U.S. Oh, but you look at me like that's wrong. No, because
I just haven't heard that before.
yes, I know.
Yeah,
because
you're
you're
good.
uneducated in that sense.
But I mean, yeah, that and Jewish slaves. Every single nation around
there
the
are
world,
still slaves of white people per.
up until the 1950s.
Slavery is
Still-
wrong. Period.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about
What's
when
that?
it comes to that. Like, why are you focusing so much on like, oh, it's
Yeah.
white culture and white people are
Well,
being
because
enslaved?
you
Who
brought up
cares?
you
Yeah,
brought up the white
slavery is wrong no matter
replacement.
what.
Yeah, it's
you
wrong.
brought up privilege.
It is.
When
you
did
brought
I
up-
bring up white replacement? I brought up white
Privilege.
replacement because you brought up that white culture was being erased.
You brought up
It
privilege.
did. Well, okay, so yes.
I don't have a privilege.
I didn't bring up privilege. I never said the word
No, he
privilege.
You
did.
did say privilege.
I never said privilege.
You did. I have
He's-
it on recording right here.
Well, okay.
I don't remember saying that.
I know. How many drinks have you had?
Actually, 0 today.
Yep, you definitely say privilege.
He said it, but I think he said it in response to what you said.
He did,
But-
it's still.
I don't even remember
I
saying
would
that.
like to take what this young man has said and segue
I would-
into Article 3.
Yeah, let's go into our. Please do.
Ooh, Article 3.
No, we were having. Oh wait, we got him November 5th. We can keep talking about.
I was
this
about to
Robert-
say we can
Robert,
continue
you're bringing
later.
up stuff that hasn't happened yet. So,
Yes, I know November 5th.
but you're
We're
but
future telling you, boys.
you are yeah. So
Premonition. We'll call it a premonition.
let's respond. Hey,
It's a prophecy, all right?
Robert.
It's a God.
Hey,
It's a
Robert.
God-given prophecy.
let's respond to him, not just like create other conversations. Okay,
I will allow you two to have the last words on this. Yes.
No, you
you'll allow us.
Yes.
No, you
on your own show.
Look,
Joking.
You're
if it
such
is.
the
a
only
generous
one,
God.
look, the only
I'm
one that allows
joking
me
if
to
it
do
isn't clear.
anything is God Himself. So, but I'm very thankful that you are participating in this because it's good stuff. It really is.
I've been looking for an opening to actually pick
He
up
has-
this mic.
but he has something to say.
Yes,
Been holding
Just-
it in for so long.
say it.
Yeah.
Say
Going
it.
from genocide to segue into Article 3, which is quartering.
Ordering of soldiers.
Yes.
So there will be no quartering of soldiers in peacetime. However, there
not
can be
peacetime.
quartering of soldiers as law dictates
In wartime.
in war times.
Boom.
You know what the biggest wartime is for
Well,
the
hang
U.S.
on.
right now?
Hang on.
Hold on.
Okay.
How many conflicts have been fought on U.S. soil?
Since
Oh, and we'll just go entire campaigns, not
2?
individual battles. Entire campaigns. How many entire campaigns have been fought exclusively on U.S. soil?
one
Which one?
Civil War.
Right.
What about the Revolutionary War? That was also on our soil.
Nope.
But we weren't established as a country during the
Nope.
Revolutionary War,
all
were
right.
we?
Yeah.
Sure.
That was
So
beforehand.
therefore, the Third Amendment would not apply.
Nope.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. So you've got the Civil War,
Yep.
and
Which
even then,
technically wasn't even a civil war by definition, but we'll go into that in another.
It was very
Oh, wait.
uncivil, in fact.
Well, okay. Wait a minute, though.
The civil
What?
war is between the people and the
I
government.
have another question
two
though.
discerning government.
I have another question after we get through whatever.
I know there is so much going on right now.
No. I have another question though. I have another question.
well,
but
okay,
go
so
for it.
but that's kind of where I'm going to end it because the Third Amendment is inconsequential to us at this point.
Right.
The historical aspect of the Third Amendment was the importance, and that's why they put it at 3,
Yes.
because during the Revolutionary War,
Right.
that's when the British would come in
Yep.
and they would take over quarters.
Yeah.
And they would use it for staging grounds
Yep.
for whatever skirmish that
Has
they were
it-
getting into.
Everybody has seen The Patriot, right?
no.
It's a
What?
damn good movie.
You were the most
Oh.
un-American man I've ever met.
Yeah.
in my life.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
That's
Let
why
me
he's
guess,
a-
you've never
You're right.
seen
I'm
The
a
Gladiator
Vinlander.
either.
I'm not an American.
No, he has
so-
not seen Gladiator.
Wait a minute.
You're not an
Wait a minute.
American?
And he
Rob.
I'm a
has pink hair.
Vinlander.
Hey, have you seen Gladiator?
Gladiator? No, I don't think.
Really?
So.
Your brother
Parents.
Crow?
Shit.
No.
Okay, two movies.
not entertained?
This is it.
Oh
this is,
wait! Yeah.
This is
No,
your homework.
You're so right. I
This is
do
your
remember
homework.
that.
Watch The Patriot and watch The Gladiator.
I did watch the Gladiator. I
Okay,
remember now.
we'll watch
Watch
them
The
in
Patriot
sequence.
with
I will
Mel
watch.
Gibson.
I will watch the Patriot.
The Patriot is a damn good movie by Mel Gibson.
To teach you, Nathan.
Mel
The
Gibson.
one true emperor.
But Mel
Maximus
Gibson.
Aurelius.
Yeah, Maximus. Hey, that's what I named my child after. My child
he found
is
out
named
that-
Maximus Aurelius Pollard.
The most
Nice.
based Roman
He
emperor.
He found out that she was pregnant. He was like, "What do I
What?
want to name a child?" I was like, "Maximus."
Maximus.
Maximus Aurelius. And
What?
he was like,
No.
"What are you talking about?" I
He
said,
is the one
Hey, Matt.
true
Gladiator.
king.
Hey,
Hey,
Matt.
you know what?
Hey, Matt.
I
don't-
named my daughter after a car, all right?
Hey,
Not
hey,
as
man.
good as Maximus Aurelius, but
hey,
that's
guys.
good.
I do not mean to interrupt
It's
like
a
this.
67
but,
What's up, man?
I do
Go ahead.
think I should point out. I don't want to be the actually guy here, but
But you are.
No, but you
actually,
are.
Yeah.
It's Marcus.
his name was
you are.
Marcus.
Marcus Aurelius. Yeah.
Marcus.
So okay. So it's Maximus. No. So it's Marcus Aurelius, but it's Maximus Decimus Meridius or something like that, right?
Oh, like
So,
like his
we
Latin
took him-
emperor
Decimus
name.
Aurelius.
Yeah, we took them
Now
and
you're coming in.
combined them,
Ooh.
right?
It was
So
his
that's
slave
what we
name,
did.
not
That is
his
cool.
It was
Spanish
his
name.
slave name, yeah, not
Yes.
his Spanish name.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so we
That's cool.
took
That's
them and
cool.
we combined them.
Yeah, we're smarter than you.
I agree, actually, on that.
No, I don't. Actually, you're very intelligent, Nathan.
No,
It's true,
look,
though.
Yeah, you can't
Yes.
define. Yeah,
You
you
are
can't
very
define how
intelligent.
smart
and we,
you are.
We do agree.
Intelligence is subjective.
Broadly,
It is a.
we agree that life is good.
It's
It is
subjective.
subjective.
Yes, it is.
It's
I
subjective.
have never
Completely
believed in the
subjective.
IQ test.
Yes. What?
I haven't
Never
believed in the
agreed in the
IQ
IQ
test.
test.
Well, okay, I believe
never
it in
done it.
circumstances.
You know why I didn't agree with the IQ test, and I found this out in the 5th grade. You know when I decided not to agree with it?
When he scored really high on it.
I got a 200 on it.
When my parents got my report card and said, you can do a lot better, I was like, how do you know I can do a lot better?
We got your IQ tested.
And they said, I was like, how do you know? And they were
But it's
like,
not
well,
applicable,
wait,
right?
it involves him. He's not.
This is your fault.
He hasn't heard
It's
this
definitely
story.
my fault. 'Cause I
It's
scored way
possible
higher
to
than him.
measure intelligence.
That's the problem.
So I was like, how do you know I can do better? And they're like, well, I know you can do better. I was like, well, I'm trying the hardest I can. They're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You can't. You can do better. I was like, how do you know? And then he comes home with the report card, and they're like, oh, good job. And I was like, well, can he do better? And they're like, no, he's got straight A's. I had straight A's. I didn't have A pluses. I had an A minus. I was like, how do you know he can not do better? Have you had his IQ test? And they're like, yeah. I was like, have you had mine? And they're like, no. And I was like, wait, how can you have his and not mine? And they were like, well, we know that he can do a little bit better, but I know he can do a lot better. And I'm like, but you can't know that if I haven't had an IQ test. So to this day, I have been tested by my parents with an IQ test in the 5th grade. Don't know what I scored, but I know that he has been scored, and I know his score when he was in the 3rd grade.
When I was in 3rd grade.
You know what?
Which was actually pretty phenomenal for the 3rd grade, and it's increased by
I'm gonna make you feel real good,
since.
Rob. Okay.
Oh, I know I'm intelligent. That's
No,
not
no,
a
no,
problem.
no. Neither
You
here
just
nor
have to be
there.
And it's not a
applicable.
battle between me and my brother. I already know that I'm more intelligent on the IQ test than him.
That was back in 5th grade. Okay.
Listen, you know what I got on my IQ test?
22.
44.
Yeah.
Halfway there.
That's about halfway to average intelligence.
And I don't
right?
agree with the IQ test at all.
The 3rd time I took it, I got a 12.
Yeah.
I got a 2.
Yeah.
Then I got a 200.
I'll be honest, the last time I took the IQ test, like a legit IQ test,
And then I turned
say that
21,
because he said
found
200.
women, and didn't care.
Yeah. Well, that definitely dumbs us
What is
down,
it? What is
right?
it?
The last
over
time-
140 is genius level. Or
The
something?
last
Look,
okay.
I was a fucking genius until I met my wife.
If we're talking about legitimate IQ tests, the last that I remember was about 185, 190 that I took, and that was when I was about
taken one.
20 years old, right? But the IQ tests increase as you read, as you learn, as
They
you do
test you
things.
according to your
They
age.
test you according
Yeah.
to your age, right? So
But do y'all know the legal genius IQ test number?
It's like
Yeah, it's like
141.
140 plus, right?
yeah,
140.
Yeah.
Do you know what Einstein was at?
141.
Nope.
Oh goodness. Then I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was like 145 or something.
No. Well, come on now. We're talking about the fucking father of nuclear warfare. He's not going to be at 141 if the legal,
All I know is that
identification
he
of
was
a
He
genius
was probably-
is
he's
fuck.
like
That-
180.
that's all I know about
something.
Einstein.
No,
One-
What was he?
yeah, he was 180. He was 185.
Yeah, he was 180. So I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
He was 180.
That's about where
I
I
thought the
tested.
average was
That's why
112.
yes,
yeah,
the average
That's
is
why
112.
140 is considered genius.
Oh. So 22 sounds about right for me.
Way. That's what most lawyers are. Good for you.
Good job, guys.
For you, buddy. I'll be there at the commemoration.
These are the guys that are representing you in court. I'm just letting you know.
Just
Okay.
to let you know that I know how to write a contract, and you're going to
Yeah.
make a lot of money.
$5,000 and his IQ is 22.
Hey, you guys.
Who's the real smart guy?
Oh,
Let's be
shit.
honest. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Oh man, this is going to be a very good multi-part. Okay, we did quartering, so we're good.
Yeah, we did quartering. I don't
mean-
really think that we got anything else to go. I think next time we'll talk about 4,
see y'all
5,
later,
and
guys.
6.
Yes,
4,
very
5, 6.
important.
Yeah.
Very
Now, those
important.
ones are
deep.
deep.
All three.
All three
are
of them are deep.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
These first 3 weren't deep.
Yes. No. The first was. the first
Okay,
was-
let's give a preview of what the 4th, 5th, and 6th are.
Oh yeah, Nathan.
So,
All right, brother. We'll see you.
Appreciate you, brother.
4, 5, and 6 are really the cornerstone of criminal law and criminal procedure.
Yes.
Right?
That's
Fourth
CYA.
Amendment's your right to privacy. Or not right to privacy. Search and seizure.
Yep.
Your Fifth Amendment is
This guy knows
self-incrimination.
what he's talking about,
He
right?
knows what he's talking about here.
He wanted the microphone and hadn't said much because
Well, I've got a bachelor's in criminal justice, so.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, I took political science, and if they had underwater basket weaving, I would have taken that.
I
Right.
took angling and got 2 PE credits. I'm just saying.
Yes.
There you go.
My mom always told me if you wanted to be an officer, take underwater basket weaving in the military.
Yeah.
I have yet to find an institution that offers that, and I blame her. It's her fault.
Yep.
The real class is underwater basket welding. That's where you learn some real skills.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I like
takes
water.
that takes at least 3 years minimum after you become a master welder.
And you make about $120 an hour.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah,
money.
he's like,
now he's like, shit, I should have
should've
just done this differently.
No, I'm
No, well, lawyers are like, when you get to his level, it's like $500 an hour, right?
no, God, I wish. I hope. You know what? I will. I don't want to brag, but I will be there one day.
Oh, yeah.
I will be
I
that
have-
attorney that you
I
look
have
at and go,
full-
you want how
I'm
much
gonna
an
be
hour?
honest, I'm going to come to a point in my life where I'm going to need a constitutional lawyer. I'm going to be like, oh, it's cool. I got one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
going to be a lot of money.
Trust me.
You remember that talk we had about the First Amendment? I walked up in this joint recording shit, and they arrested me. How much of a payday do you want? No.
Yeah, you're going to be our guy, just so you know.
Or we're retained before we even get
Yeah.
out of school. Like
We already
that.
got jobs for you, trust me.
yeah. Oh, we got yeah. Yeah, we're
When we,
stubborn motherfuckers.
when we walk outside, it's like we need a lawyer just like
yeah, we do.
by our side the whole time,
oh,
pretty much.
fuck, we got him out.
Yeah, it's like a security guard, but like
Yeah.
you don't have a gun, you
Right.
know? But we have the guns around us and on us, but you're just like there to speak.
Yeah, the mediator.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to take a couple of courses on that because you're like,
Yeah.
wait, you can't tell somebody they're a fucking idiot?
Right.
Wait a minute. What?
You have to be more politically correct. And you know what? In all honesty, the amount of things that I've learned in law school on how to say you're a fucking idiot and make it sound beautiful.
Yeah.
You got to finesse it.
Oh, man, it's great.
Yeah.
You don't
I can
exactly
tell
know what
you
you're
to
talking
go fuck
about.
a goat sideways, and you'll look at me and smile.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is- I learned that about 6 months ago. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Mostly because we pay you
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's
A
a
lot of money
Yeah.
to tell
Yeah.
me to tell somebody to
yeah.
fuck a goat
You just have to
sideways.
be you just have to be articulate.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know how to say it in a particular manner, but with the voice.
But be calm
yeah, and calm.
and sincere.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
You're good.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Look,
no,
that
there's
was
something there.
you know, that was a lot of my so I used to do speaking engagements, right?
Right.
So I used to get paid to speak in front of people,
Mhm.
right? You know, upwards of $30,000 to $70,000 to give a speech, right?
Wow.
And you know, of how to do a particular thing in a particular manner,
Right.
and you have to be able to tell people they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and that I do know what the hell I'm talking about, and this is the way that you should do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very precise manner in how you do it, but as well, you know, your tonality,
Your tone takes a
pauses.
lot of it.
You can't look
But
at
your
your
words
and be
that
like,
you
well,
look-
you're
the
a dumbass.
words that you use, what you
Yeah.
associate it with, right?
So
So
but
it's
I also
it's
come,
all in.
I come from a long line. Like my father
Yeah.
is one of the most interesting men I know and have ever known. He will literally look you in the face, say, "Matt, you're a fucking idiot. Go fuck yourself. Have a great day."
Yeah.
And he'll say, "Thanks, man." I've seen it happen so many times, and I'm like, "How do you do this?" And he's like, "Well, you'll figure it out as you get older."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, and I did. But the Sixth Amendment, Sixth Amendment is more criminal procedure stuff,
Yeah. Criminals. Yeah.
and that's, I mean, what we'll go over next time. It's gonna be a good time.
In the 7th. So we're going
4,
over
5, and 6.
4, 5. Okay, is it 4, 5, and 6? Okay.
4, 5, and
Sorry.
6.
Sorry, 7th
because
is a little bit
the
deep.
7th is
One and
civil,
all of in itself.
if I'm not mistaken.
Civil.
It's a civil trial.
Okay.
6 is
So-
criminal trial.
Look.
7th is criminal trial.
We hope everybody had a freaking fantastic time, just like we did up here,
Oh, yeah.
talking about this crazy stuff. This crazy stuff that everybody should know as like common sense. All right, this should be something that's like taught from day one in our country. Being in this country, it should be something that everybody knows and understands. But apparently,
And it should be taught in civics.
It should be.
It really
taught.
should be.
It should be.
Everybody should have a solid
Well, okay.
understanding of your First Amendment rights.
That's another Mead Talk because
and maybe we'll get into it.
Yeah.
When we get into like the
maybe the
14th
first half.
Amendment.
Maybe the first.
I think we can get
part
into
of
that and then run the 14th.
Yeah. But thank you so much, everybody, for partaking in this Mead Talk. We appreciate everybody. Thank you, Bo, for having us. We appreciate you, man. We will do another.
Oh, yeah.
We'll schedule another, and we need to schedule one with your wife on like DNA and genetics and all that stuff because I have a lot to say about that.
Oh yeah, she does too.
I know. Oh, I know. But it's more so like
and
figuring
I'm getting the
out.
grandmas to come to watch because I'm coming to watch that fireworks.
Yeah.
show.
So more so it's like what can I figure out from her, that I don't already know, and it's
Man.
really awesome.
Hannah is not only is she incredibly gorgeous, she is insanely smart too.
Yes. Yeah.
The amount of things that woman knows is just insane.
Yeah,
and when you go, you
right.
want to talk about genetics, you want to talk about molecular biology, all that kind of stuff. Way over my head with that IQ of 22.
Yeah,
but she's got it on point.
Well, we're so thankful for you coming on discussing these topics with us. We will do another constitutional talk where we'll actually I know we want to go on to the Bill of Rights and even forward, but we still need to go back to the articles. So, if you're willing, we will have you on for the articles and the Bill of Rights and all that good stuff.
Whatever you guys want to do.
So I think we want to make like a monthly thing of the Constitution.
Sure, man.
Right? So
My phone died.
it's all right.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's all right. And we got the live feed. So, but anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah,
we
man.
Appreciate you, man.
It was a good time. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks, y'all.